All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, spring training is in full effect for Major League Baseball, but the Las Vegas Raiders are the ones that pulled something out of left field today. In a bit of a shocker, the Raiders acquired Pro Bowl wide receiver Davante Adams from the Green Bay Packers. Now, in exchange for Adams, the Raiders are sending their first and second round picks to the Packers. And this changes the trajectory of things for the Raiders coming into the next season, as this move definitely vaults them into Super Bowl contention in the super tough AFC. Now, Adams is coming off of a season where he had 123 catches for 1,553 yards, along with 11 touchdowns. And that was on top of what he did in 2020, as he had 115 catches for 1,374 while leading the NFL in touchdown grabs with 18. And what the Raiders are getting here is one of the premier wide receivers in the National Football League. And, I don't know Derek Carr personally, obviously, but it's something where what he has to be very, very happy with this move, because he is now reuniting with his college teammate. And if you think back to the time that Derek Carr and Davante Adams had together at Fresno State, they put up some tremendous numbers, and they really kept defenses around the Mountain West Conference on their heels. And now you give Derek Carr, a five-time Pro Bowler at wide receiver and a legit stud, who is going to put some pressure on secondaries around the AFC West right now. Now, I look at it, and overall, the Raiders are doing more than just keeping up with the Joneses this offseason, as we saw them also acquire Chandler Jones, the defensive end, no pun intended. But you look at this Raiders team right now, and I've talked about the AFC West previously in this offseason. We saw Khalil Mack get traded from the Chicago Bears to the Los Angeles Chargers. We also saw the Chargers re-sign Mike Williams at wide receiver, along with signing cornerback J.C. Jackson. We've seen the Denver Broncos go out there and acquire quarterback Russell Wilson from the Seattle Seahawks. And I talked about teams needing to beef up their pass rushers. Denver picking up Randy Gregory from the Broncos. We've seen, of course, Chandler Jones go to the Raiders, Khalil Mack go to the Chargers, and it's not just loading up on the pass rushers; it's loading up in every facet of the game, which is what these teams are doing. But getting back to the focus of the Raiders know that they have to keep up with the Joneses in this division. And now you have an offense to keep up with the Chiefs. Now you're hopeful that you have an additional pass rusher to put pressure on the likes of Patrick Mahomes, to put pressure on the likes of Justin Herbert, to put pressure on the likes of Russell Wilson, because that's what you're going to have to do to win this division. But you're also going to have to score points in the passing game, which they now have a better option of with Davante Adams. And of course, his presence is going to open things up for Hunter Renfro as well in the passing game, along with Darren Waller. So you look at it right now, and things are looking up for the Raiders. And if you're the Raiders, you have no problem paying Davante Adams the money that he was seeking. He wanted to be one of the highest paid receivers in the league. He now has that opportunity. And then on top of that, if you're the Raiders, you have no problem sending your first and second round picks to Green Bay, because guess what? You're not going to find a wide receiver in this upcoming NFL draft who can immediately give you the productivity and have the impact on your team that Davante Adams is going to have with the Raiders this season. Now, you look at it, the contract of Aaron Rodgers on the flip side for the Packers is hurting this team. And, I always talk about this with quarterbacks. I'm like, hey, listen, either you want to win or you want to get paid. And typically with quarterbacks, not only do they get paid from their teams, they also get endorsement money. And Aaron Rodgers has endorsement money coming out of the wazoo. So this deal, to get a new contract with Green Bay and get the money that he was seeking, to me, it really hamstrings this team. Now you don't. Now you lose your top target as Davante Adams is a Raider. On top of that, Equanimeous St. Brown signed with the Chicago Bears earlier this week. We've also seen the Green Bay Packers cut linebackers Darius Smith. So you cannot pay everyone. And if you're Aaron Rodgers, okay, it's great that you have your money, but if you're a veteran quarterback and you're like, wow, we've been so close to the Super Bowl in recent years, you have now taken several steps back. Because I look at it like this: the Packers were one team that definitely could beat the Rams. And of course, that's the team to beat. Of course, they're heading into the season as the defending Super Bowl champs, but they're also one of the top teams in the NFC. And you look at it the last couple of years, the Packers have been able to beat the Rams. They beat them 2 years ago in the postseason. And of course, this past season, we saw the Packers beat the Rams at Lambeau. And of course, there was a possibility of them meeting in the playoffs. That didn't happen, of course, when the Packers were knocked out in the second round by the 49ers. But nonetheless, one thing that gave the Packers a chance against the Rams or helped them to beat the Rams was the fact that, you know what, they had one of the elite receivers in the NFL in Davante Adams, who can go at it with Jalen Ramsey, and he can get, his numbers against one of the top corners in the NFL. That dynamic has now changed for the Packers as they no longer have that. They also lost Equanimeous St. Brown. So we're right back to square one with this team where it's just like, hey, you know what? A-Rod bail us out. But, he's going to have to once again put this team on his back. But at the end of the day, don't feel sorry for Aaron Rodgers, because I don't either. Because the thing is either you want to win or you want to get paid. You cannot have both in the National Football League if you're a quarterback in today's salary cap. And Aaron Rodgers is going to once again find that out. But getting back to the Raiders, the silver and black, um, this is a situation with the AFC as a whole. And now, 14 teams overall make the playoffs, seven from each conference. It is not out of the realm of possibility. I talked about possibly three teams from the AFC West making the playoffs next season. It is not out of the realm of possibilities that we see all four tenants of this division make the playoffs next year. This is how talented the AFC West is. You have Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelsey with the Kansas City Chiefs on offense. You think about the arrival of Russell Wilson to Denver, with the likes of Jerry Jeudy at wide receiver. You also still have a rock solid defense if you're the Broncos to try to get you over the hump. We just talked about Davante Adams going to the Raiders along with Chandler Jones. And then we look at the Chargers, who added Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson. And of course, you have one of the better young studs at quarterback in the NFL in one Justin Herbert. So I'm looking at the Raiders right now. They are definitely in the mix. And this is going to be one of, if not the toughest division in football. On the flip side for the Packers, you still have enough to win the NFC North because that division has been owned by the Packers as long as they can keep Aaron Rodgers healthy. But getting to the playoffs and being able to do damage in the playoffs are two different things. And I think from that standpoint, the Packers just took several steps back in making this deal. You got draft picks, that's fine. You can build for the future. But if you have a situation with a veteran quarterback like Aaron Rodgers, you're in a win now mode. And the thing is, Aaron Rodgers didn't do himself or the Packers any favors by taking that contract. And on the flip side, I guarantee you, Derek Carr is now going to put A-Rod at the top of his mailing list for Christmas, because Christmas came early, very early for Derek Carr and the Raiders this year, as Davante Adams is heading west to reunite with his college quarterback. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin. I'm signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.